this is Alisha Costanzo and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my last word challenge, so let's get into it. It be wet and I'm going on an adventure. By the way, I just started Lock Every Door because door was the last word in red, white, and royal blue. So I'm going with Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. Right, this is book, I'm going to count this as book 1 of 3 I'm going to try to do this with, so yay. Okay, time to go read and buy some things. In progress. Can't wait to fill that up. New background, kind of. Office got moved around and cleaned, and I got so much room in here now. Anyways, I'm here to update you guys on my last word, first word challenge. So I finished Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and even though I knew what the twist was at the end because I'd seen it on YouTube, I was still I was reading it with that knowledge going, ooh, that's creepy, ooh, that's creepy, ooh, that's creepy. I still don't think the whole paranormal, this is a place that's haunted vibe works for, I'm not fooled by it in his stories. But the real thing that happened at the end and the way that the twist happened, I was still riveted through it. So I was still excited. I read it in 2 or 3 days. So pretty good, still a pretty good book. I'm still liking his writing. Now, the last word in Lock Every Door is swing.
Then I wipe away the tears, grip Ingrid's hand, and watch the wrecking balls swing.
And I'm having a hard time finding the word swing in some books that I have access to. I might have to buy a book. If I do, I'm gonna buy probably the cheapest option that I can because I don't have that much money. Or I might look for covers that have swings on them, if not necessarily in the title. Or do I pick a different book that I can pull the last word from? I don't know. I don't know how to make this work, but I'm gonna look into both of those options so I can get at least 3 books read for this challenge. Okay, there's my update. I'm gonna go now and figure some stuff out, like my life. Yep, okay. Hey guys, so real quick, I want to stop in and tell you about Swing, which is a graphic novel about a couple who's thinking about swinging. And it is a series, and I picked this up because the last word... Really, kitty? Because the last word in Lock Every Door by Riley Sager is swing. So I had to figure out a book with the word swing in it, and that is this one. And the art was pretty good, the story was pretty good. We didn't get as far as I thought we were going to though, so that was a little disappointing. But I completed that part of the challenge, so yay! Hey guys, so I just started Never Let Me Go, and who's that by? Oh crap. By Kazuo Ishiguro? Anyways, I am literally almost 7 minutes into it. And halfway through those 7 minutes, I started going, this story sounds familiar. I know this story. Cats are horny. So I was like, I know this story. And I looked on the cover and it said, now a motion picture with the 3 listed characters, the one of which of course I recognize the best is Keira Knightley. And I'm like, I've seen this movie. This movie fucked me up. I still think about it. I did not know that this was this book. I just picked something that sounded interesting. It was sci-fi, romance. Yeah, and I didn't, when I read the synopsis, it did not click with the movie. So I'm interested to see how the movie is different from the book, and if I'll still enjoy a lot of the tension of the book, knowing what the secret is and what happens. But oh my gosh. Let's see how this works out. I recognized it. Alright, so I just finished Never Let Me Go. How do you say that name? Kazuo Ishiguro? I am sorry. Author. So I just finished Never Let Me Go by Ishiguro. I can't say your first name. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering your last name too. But this is what I would call a very light sci-fi contemporary. And of course, my word from the last one was go. So I found this book with go into it. And as I mentioned, 6 minutes in, I knew I'd seen this movie. So a lot of the like bumps and twists and stuff like I already knew, which is really interesting to read the book after the movie, which I typically have a tendency to do, especially with longer books, because they're so different. The movie and the book are so different because you can only put so much of a book in an hour and a half, 2 hour movie. Like, I watched Divergent, then I read the book, and I got to enjoy them both instead of loving Divergent and then watching the movie and hating it because it was so different. So that's my thought work on that. However, I still really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4. I really, really hate Ruth. I did when they were young. I did it in the movie as well, but I feel like I hated her more in the book because I got to see more of the internal reaction of Kath, and how even though they were supposed to be best friends, Ruth treated her terribly, absolutely terribly, selfish fucking brat of a character, and I couldn't stand her. And yeah, she's got like a little bit of redemption at the end, but still I'm in the voting of fuck her. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. So I'm also a bit sad about the way the book ended because I don't remember if it ended like that in the movie. I think it was much more romantic in the movie than it was in the book, with the characters who got together at the end and what happened with them. So this is essentially a clone story. You kind of get hints of it vaguely throughout that these kids are clones. They keep saying, we're different, you're different from everybody else. I mean, I knew while I was reading the book, so it was, I got to see those things and how they were hinted at throughout the entire thing about donating and completing and what your life was supposed to, like what was supposed to come of their lives and all of these other things and how they were seen as almost repulsive. But when you find a cure to a disease that is plaguing a nation, you don't want to think of that cure as human because then you might not have your cure anymore. So it's a lot of those kind of details and pretty much showing that they are exactly the same as a naturally born human, only they were raised to donate all of their organs to save other people's lives. That is their purpose. It made it an incredibly moving and sad story, and I still enjoyed the crap out of it. It's still haunted by some of the scenes from the movie, which I think were more powerful than how they were shown in the book. Like not Kathy dying. Kathy doesn't die in the book. Like Ruth dying or completing after a number of donations. And in the movie, it's Keira Knightley, and she's open on the operating table, and you get that beep, that flat line. Nobody blinks an eye. They just take what they're taking and they leave her. And they leave her open on the table as everybody walks away in that stark lighting. And it's that image that haunts me most of the time. So it wasn't quite as powerful in the book, but I had enough of that reaction in me still to make that impact at the book. It still hit me, especially the ending, which was, I mean, I don't want to give it away. I gave enough of it away. It's an incredibly sad book about life and growing up and death and responsibilities and the way we treat each other. So, pretty good book. I gave it 4 stars. So, the books, three took me long enough for this challenge. So 3 is going to be it for this last word challenge. It was supposed to be like last word, first word. I don't know what came over me. Like that would have been impossible to do. Like, how am I supposed to know what the first word of books are? How long would that take me in finding one that started with the last word of the previous? I barely was able to find books with those words in the titles. So that is what I ended up going with. So what I did was I used the first book that I read the month that I got that challenge. Let's look what month I got that challenge. I started this in May. So the book that I first read was Red, White, and Royal Blue. And the last word of that was, oh God, what was the last word? So I believe the last word was door, which brought me to Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, which was my first book of the challenge. and I've already showed you guys a lot of this stuff. And I liked Riley Sager before. I've read his books before, so this was a pretty good start to the challenge. And then the last word in that book was swing. That was a lot harder to find a book for, and ended up finding a graphic novel, a erotic graphic novel that wasn't quite as erotic as I thought it was going to be honest. And then the last word in that one was go. So that brought me to Never Let Me Go, and how I found that book was just happenstance, looking up those words. I'm like, oh, this sounds really cool, without knowing that I'd seen the movie. And it is really interesting that I got 3 books out of this that I did. Because again, a book I probably would have read anyways, because I'd started with that author. A book I would never have ever picked for myself in general, about a graphic novel about swingers, which again, I might get the compendium if they come out with one of those, because it was fairly interesting, but I don't want to spend $10 per book. No, not for the amount of content that was in it. And then I chose something that I would never have read on my own again, because once I had found out that it was a movie, I probably wouldn't have read it, to be honest, because I already knew the story. And the book wasn't that different from the movie, which is interesting. So like, read the book and then go watch the movie, because they're both pretty darn good. But just for my taste, like, I would have probably just picked something else to read, because I have a lot that I like to read at a time. I'm really glad that I got to read these 3 books and expand myself a little bit and expose myself a little bit to this. So I would totally do this challenge again. I might reintroduce it next year when I'm re-upping when I remake my TBR game and the challenges and all the prompts and stuff, because I do like to refresh it at the very least at the end of the year. Although this year I've done it twice. I've remade it twice, so... Anyways, I found this interesting. I hope you found it interesting and maybe found a new book that you would like to read. Tell me in the comments below what you might have suggested to me for those words, which were again, door, swing, and go. Let me know. Alright, if you made it this far, put a little flower emoji in the comments, because I would love to know that you were here and that you stayed this long. Thank you. And I'm gonna get my crazy ass on to finishing the other 10 challenges that I still have waiting to do. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.